Hello, everyone. I'm Jeremy, and I'm trying something new tonight. Some of you may have already seen that I've written blogs before, and I post it to my Facebook page. You can check it out there. And if you have in the past, thank you for the support. I've actually heard several friends give some good feedback, so I really am excited that some people are reading it out there. And I wanted to try to maybe add to what I'm doing with my writing. So now I'm gonna test out video recording and get into some podcasting because who isn't doing that, right? So this is what I'm gonna do tonight is gonna be a reaction to a trailer. This I know this is not a new idea. Every YouTuber does it, but you know what? This is something that I think would be really cool to try out. So I'm gonna watch the Obi Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show trailer for the first time. The trailer's been out over a week now, but I've only just now had the opportunity to record. So I have not seen the trailer, and I have avoided all spoilers that might be in the trailer so I can see it all fresh. If you know me at all, you know that I hate being spoiled in the first place, but I think this will be kind of a fun thing to do, so I don't mind seeing trailers if I can have a chance to like break it down a little bit. So I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna watch the trailer. You can watch it with me, and then I'll come back and give you some thoughts and some theories that I might have just on initial impressions. Here we go. Tatooine, clearly. Nice camel.
The fight is done. We lost.
Is that Order 66 he's talking about? Or Anakin fight? This looks like the episode 4 scene there. Okay, here's the farm. There's young Luke.
Stay hidden.
Oh!
The king
Oh, that's a cool
to
ship.
hunting Jedi. His
Ooh.
patience.
Oh, that's an Inquisitor.
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion
Wow. Really? Hangings?
leaves a trail.
There's Lars.
The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it.
It's like underbelly of
Where is he?
oh, that's a Sith too. Hope, of course, is A New Hope. I heard the Darth Vader breathing in the background there. Oh, that's a cool graphic. Wow. Wow. What a great trailer. That was fun to watch. There was quite a bit of stuff in there, and yet there wasn't anything that they gave away. I had a really great nostalgia trip when the Duel of the Fates music started playing as the words scrolled on the screen. That was one of the best moments of that trailer for sure. So yeah, that was a good trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and play it back here. I'm gonna mute it so you guys don't need to hear it, but I'm gonna watch it while I'm talking to you so I don't forget anything as I break it down here. So, but yeah, cool trailer. Opening shot on Tatooine. Obviously, that's where Obi-Wan is in this time period. As we know, the Jedi are, when he says we lost, he's talking about Order 66 and the Jedi getting killed off by the Empire. And so, yeah, he obviously had to go into hiding. Yoda tells him to take Luke to Tatooine, where his family is. Obviously, Owen and Aunt Beru are there, so that's why we're here on Tatooine, of course. I know that there's been I've read and seen a lot of things that have been a lot of people that have been giving Disney flack for constantly using Tatooine as a location, and I get it. I mean, we've seen it in Mandalorian a lot. We saw it in Book of Boba Fett, obviously, but I have no problem whatsoever with it. Tatooine to me is a very important location in the saga. There's history there. There's just a great nostalgia. It's a connection. It just kind of bridges everything together. So I have no problem with them being on Tatooine again. Having said that, well, and before I go there, I'll even say I'm excited to see more of Tatooine. I think because in Episode 4, Luke talks about old man Ben Kenobi living out beyond the Dune Sea. So I'm wondering if we'll actually see the Dune Sea and him out there and his hermit life, as Luke calls him a hermit there. So I'm curious to see a little bit of his state at this point. And really think about it, he's having these echoes in his head in this trailer here about losing. I'm curious to see what they do with his emotional side of things. I think there's some story to be had there. The Jedi were ambushed. They were shocked and almost killed to the point of extinction. And so he's gone from such a different life to just in hiding for 10 years. This show is going to take place, I think it's 10 years after Episode 3, which means it's about, 7 or 8 years before Episode 4, maybe less. I can't remember the new canon timeline there, but Obi-Wan's obviously been there a long time. So I think it'll be cool to see a little bit of shift in his character. I think there's some acting chops for Ewan McGregor to show off there, even because he's going to be a different. I hope to see a different type of Obi-Wan because he's in hiding. Having said all that, I will say I'm pretty sure that we will not just stay on Tatooine the whole time. I think that's pretty obvious, honestly. But I don't think they're going to stay on Tatooine. So the question is going to become, why does Obi-Wan need to leave Tatooine? It could be because the Empire tracks down Luke, right? Well, they don't know about him there in the original trilogy, so maybe that can't happen. But maybe somebody gets wind of where Luke is, or something to the effect of that. So, as we'll get to in a minute here, they were talking about hunting Jedi. So if they think there's a Jedi on Tatooine, they might go there, and Obi-Wan might feel obligated to take him off of Tatooine. The other idea to this is it could be that Obi-Wan feels the need to leave to find other Jedi. So in the other Disney Plus shows, we've had Ahsoka survive. We've had mentioned, well, even the video game we had. The character you play in the Jedi Fallen Order game, he's a Jedi that's on the hunt for Jedi who survived Order 66. So it seems like Star Wars is really hitting at there are other Jedi around. There are other young Jedi. There are children Jedi that need protecting at this point. I think we see some storylines of that in Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, with Kanan and Ezra even a little bit. But, well, I guess not really Ezra, but... so, yeah, I'm curious to see... Oh, and we see some of that in Bad Batch, too, right? So, yeah, I'll be curious to see if that might be a reason Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine, is because he might be trying to find and or protect another young Jedi. Be interesting to see. The timeline of this, I'm curious if it'll tie into Rogue One at all, because Rogue One, obviously it was right before Episode 4. This is, like I said, I think this is still several years before that, but, I mean, we could see time portions of the Empire setting up, you know, maybe on Scarif or something, you know. So it's possible that we see some of that, and then we could end up seeing characters, you know, younger versions of like Jin or somebody, or even Chirrut. You know, he's a Force user guy who might be affected by Order 66. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the show. So a lot of possibilities with that as well. Also, we are getting Andor, the show Andor, later this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a connection to that. I'm kind of going on a tangent now, but you know, thinking of other characters who might show up. It's very likely that we could see Darth Maul, right? Because we see him in at the end of Solo, which is way closer to this exact time than it is to Rogue One, even. So I actually wonder if we'd see more of him and maybe Kira than even the Rogue One characters. But I that would be awesome because Obi Wan and Darth Maul are the right. You know, obviously Anakin and Obi Wan had the epic, you know, the epic lightsaber battle, and obviously they were master and apprentice. But like Maul and Obi Wan was a real rivalry in the Clone Wars, right? And then in Rebels as well, which I won't say the result of that, but this is before Rebels. So to me, Maul is still out there, and I obviously from Solo, he's he's working on something, right? He's building up the what is it, the Pikes Syndicate or the whoever it is he's working for, right, with Kira. And obviously we saw hints of that in in Book of Boba Fett. So now we could maybe see the beginnings of all that stuff, just to have some connections there. I don't think they should go too into that. Although I really think they really should have had more of that in Book of Boba. So that was kind of a missed opportunity. So I don't know. I mean, they could at least establish that Kira and Darth Maul are at it, or you know, they're building up their Empire Syndicate or whatever, you know. So I'd be interested to see if we find out what happens to them. You know, I've talked to friends over the years about this a lot. The Solo movie was way underrated, and because of because it bombed with only was like 250 mil at the box office or something, Disney put a halt to all their plans at the time. But like, man, we were supposed to get like a Lando movie. Lando's still around at this time. We could see him. You know, Han, of course, and you know, even a somewhat, you know, younger Boba Fett even was around during this time. Obviously, he's not a kid anymore like he was in Episode 2. But man, there's so many major characters that are around at this exact time. I don't think it's coincidence that this Obi-Wan show is lining up so closely to the Solo movie. I'm curious if it'll actually be right around the same time. It might be it might be a little bit after, because I think Solo was 5 years before, and this is, oh, so this would actually be before. I don't know, but all I'm saying is I could see connections to all those characters in that movie. That would be really, really dope. So yeah, a lot of stuff just on that note with Tatooine to consider. So yeah, they show the shot of Obi-Wan watching Luke from afar using his like fancy little futuristic looking binocs, but it's like Luke in Episode 4 has like these really crummy ones. It's kind of funny to see the tech difference, even though the timing is actually before Episode 4, but maybe Luke's family just couldn't afford good ones, right? But it's fun to watch Luke here on his little hut here. It looks like he's doing a pod race. Like he's doing this, and he does like the thrust that like Anakin does in Episode 1. So that's kind of neat. So I wonder if he knows about pod racing. Is that still a thing? I don't know. It was cool to see the track in the if you've read my blog on the episodes about on the Book of Boba Fett episodes, there was one episode where they revisited the track from episode 1. So it did look abandoned at that point, but this show obviously takes place well before the Book of Boba. So I don't know. Will there be pod racing? Will we see the end of pod racing? I don't know. But I thought that was kind of interesting to see that Luke is well aware of that. I wonder if he'll even build one. Probably not, right? Yeah, when the Lucasfilm comes on the screen and they play the Duel of the Fates, so good. Love that music. Yeah, so the Sith here have like an interesting ship as it's approaching some kind of weird. I don't know what that is. I don't think it's a Sith temple or anything. It might just be a base of theirs or something like that. You know, when we saw in Rogue One, we saw Darth Vader in his fortress, right, on Dathomir, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring that back in this show, if we see him there. But what they're showing here is definitely not that. It looks like it's just like a little outpost or something. Apparently the Inquisitors are there. That's cool. That's another character that they're bringing into live action from the Clone Wars. The Inquisitors, and they are awesome. Like, really awesome Sith. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, the scene of the person hanging. That's pretty brutal. So they're showing. So there's this shot of another planet. It looks like it's another planet entirely. City life. It looks like kind of like the underbelly of whatever planet that is. Kind of like where the scum lives, and you know, when night hits, that's when everybody starts doing their evil deeds. So I don't know if that's going to be Coruscant. I doubt it. It looks a little different. So we'll see if that's maybe one of the locations Obi-Wan goes to. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this place looks... Oh, Obi-Wan definitely goes there. So yeah, he's in his shootout here. So that's neat. Man, that's cool. I guess that could be Coruscant. I don't know. Let me go back here. So they're showing the Inquisitor spinning his lightsaber, which he does in the Clone Wars. That's great. But yeah, this shot right here. There's all these stormtroopers following this green dude, and behind is the city. I don't know where that's gonna be. It could be Coruscant. That'd be cool to see Coruscant again. There's a shot of the escape pod, which is the same escape pod we see in Episode 4, which is cool. Also, it might imply that there's some kind of space battle at some point if somebody needs to escape. So that'll be cool. The Sith looking at some readings. I wonder if we'll get any lore on Sith. That would be really neat. Hope survives, of course. Obi-Wan. I mean, hope is such an overplayed word in this era. Like, it was way overplayed in Rogue One, of course. They just love that word, connecting it to A New Hope. So yeah, that was a cool trailer. A lot of stuff in there. Very excited to see where they go with it. So yeah, that's a fun little project for me to break it down. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. I'll probably write a blog in the coming weeks on more thoughts on that as the show gets closer. Maybe some other expectations. I know that Vader is going to be in the show, so that's going to be awesome just to see what kind of interactions they'll have, Vader and Obi-Wan. You know, Obi-Wan, you know, he's probably thinking in his mind that Anakin died. They left him on Mustafar to die, and then obviously he's heard about Vader since then. So I wonder if he'll say some funny joke about, I should have kicked you in the lava river or something. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I'm curious to see what their exchange is like. I'm curious if it'll tie in to their dialogue in Episode 4, you know, because Vader's talking about, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. So I wonder if they'll play off of that a little bit here. or maybe set up that line. Be interesting to see. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff coming in this show. I think it's gonna be the best Star Wars Disney Plus show, even over Mando. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is like I said, my first attempt at a video podcast. So look for more of these in the future. Give me comments and feedback, suggestions, tips, any ideas to make this a better viewing experience. I will say right now, my setup is not much at all. I have a buddy of mine I have his little webcam that I'm looking at here, and it's kind of like set on the laptop at the moment. And then I've got my microphone that I bought, so it's nice at least. But yeah, not much else. So we'll see how I set it up somehow. It might not be in this big room in my basement, but something a little more viewer friendly. I'm sure I'll try to figure something out for that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Until then, let me know what you think. Keep reading my blog. Thanks for checking all of my stuff out. Looking forward to hopefully getting more content out for you guys. Thanks.